What's going on, everybody? It's still Fantastic Friday. We've got Mike Zuber for One Rental at a Time. How is it going, Mike? We've had a fun couple first segments already.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoy our conversations.
So
I think
much
we
fun.
really are helping people.
Yeah.
And yeah, people should really blow up your channel. I don't know,
Thank you.
yeah,
I
Lumberjack
agree.
Landlord is, especially if you're earlier and you're house hacking and you really were looking to build wealth and become a millionaire, it's the best spot out there.
Yeah, take advice from somebody that's lived the hack, and I lived
Yeah.
it for 15 years.
I think you need to change the channel name to Ninth Grade Dropout. That's what you should do. You would get more followers calling yourself a ninth grade dropout.
I might need to. And true story, if in case you haven't seen any of my content, first, shame on you. Second, shame on you again. But third, I am actually a ninth grade dropout. True story. And yeah, we've just been able to find a way to make the magic happen. But in segment number 3, what we wanted to talk about was something very cool, very new to me. And quite frankly, Mike is the one who put this on my radar. This is absolutely credit to Mike and to his team and what he does. And so I had never, ever done Section 8 before.
Wow.
Or voucher program housing. I'd never done it. I still actually haven't signed my first lease yet doing it.
Okay. Yeah.
However, that being said, we try very much to have a percentage of our housing that we make sure to helping people out with, i.e. we're not market rent. We are well below market. You have to have all the qualifications to get in. It's a much tighter rental box, right? But if you hit those tighter rental box items, we're willing to give you a unit much lower than market rent.
That's awesome. Yeah.
It was awesome until we just don't do nearly as good of a job as the housing authority does.
No,
we just don't. They do a better job because they have their list of rules. When you agree to get, or when you get awarded a voucher, you have to abide by all those rules. And they have far greater teeth than just being evicted. If you get evicted, if you get thrown out, if that goes through the process, you are actually thrown out of the program forever. You never can get back in. I think that that's absolutely brilliant, because if you've done enough to get thrown out, sorry. Kind of the way, especially when somebody's paying your rent, and that's usually the reason you get thrown out. But if somebody's paying that percentage of rent, that's what makes sense. So what I wanted to talk about in this segment was really talk about that voucher program, kind of what I understand, the success that you've had with it, because I know that you have about a third of your portfolio or so is voucher. So talk me through it. I mean, we're doing this because of you, because it was something that we never doing before.
Yeah, that's
so if
awesome.
I hate it, I'm going to call you back.
That's okay. You can call me back. So again, something I want to make clear is in my portfolio, 100% of my units are available for Section 8 program, right? Every unit we have can be rented. It's at the price point. That's in fact, it's the market I have focused on my entire 20-year career. I did that on purpose. I didn't grow up with a lot. It was, housing insecurity, food insecurity, as I've talked about many times, was what it was. I still remember those days. So when I had a chance to help, I was going to help, and I was going to help in a big way. So in my portfolio existing, 100% is available, but it's about 35 to 40%, give or take, year to year. So a couple of things about the program, because I've been helping people for years talk about it. First and foremost, a lot of people that don't do it, either they have no rentals or they just do cash buyers. Lots of folks have an unnatural bias, either known or unknown, that they think all housing assistants, tenants are horrible scum. That's what they think. And nothing could be further from the truth.
Agreed.
They are all hard
counts.
on both counts. Yeah. They're in my experience, having literally thousands of them now over 2 decades, is they are, you wouldn't know if it was a cash tenant or not. They're hardworking. They may have things going on in their life through maybe no fault of their own. Or they're just trying to clean up past sins, whatever it is. They just need some help.
Yeah.
And that's what the housing authority is for. And I am a huge proponent of it. So first and foremost, there is an unnatural bias by some folks out there, which I think is unfair. I don't know where it comes from, but I've heard it. I've seen it. I see it in my comments when I talk about Section 8, and shame on you. In fact, I've had 5 horrible tenant stories in 20 years. 3 of them were cash tenants, 2 were Section 8. Yep. But as you said, all I can do to a horrible cash tenant is evict them. And if I can get a small claims hit to hit their credit. But Section 8 individual lost access to the program forever, right? There's just a bigger downside, a bigger penalty.
Massive downside.
Yeah. So I love the program. I'm a huge proponent. I love the fact that there are rules for the tenant and the landlord.
Yes.
Right. There's rules to get in. And oh, by the way, the one thing that most landlords hate, I love, and it's more because I don't self-manage. So you may get some nitpicky things, and I'll talk about that in a minute. You're going to have a yearly inspection.
Yep.
Going forward. And it can be as little as a cracked tile.
Sure.
A part of a rug in a room is, there's a thread coming up.
Yep.
There may be some nitpicky stuff, but realize they are evaluating the tenant as well, right? Most tenant inspections I get back come back clean because, again, we're ahead of it, we're managing it. But I see lots of little things all the time, and we just say, okay, great. The second thing is the tenant gets a report, right? If they're not clean, or the kitchen is this or kitchen's that, or the backyard's this or that, they're going to get they're going to be held to a standard, which I really love, right?
That's awesome.
I can't hold a cash tenant to a level, right? They pay the rent,
Right.
They don't, right? If the inside the house becomes a hoarder house, I guess there are some levels of hoarding that I could probably call out as safety, but cash tenant, I don't have the same kind of rules, and certainly not the same kind of teeth, right? Because again, you get a Section 8 tenant or housing assistant that's, flagged as dirty. They're going to get on it and clean it because they don't, they're going to like 30 days to fix it. And if they don't, they can lose the program. So lots of things for it. The hassle factor of a on-site inspection is a plus for me, because again, I pay someone. So I basically, I see it, I spin it as positive, that I get 30% of my portfolio evaluated by independent eyes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
I get 30%. Again, people looking for little things. So if I get a clean report back from Section 8, I'm like, good job, property manager. Right. You're doing your job.
That's
so
right.
I use that 30% to evaluate how they're doing on my other 70%. Right.
Yeah.
So I think it's a huge thing. In California, I don't think it was always this way, but now I pay for the inspections, which is kind of a hassle. But again, they're doing a lot of work, right? They build a pretty decent report. So some landlords don't like that, because I don't think I could be wrong, but I think a decade ago I didn't pay for those. Okay. But I pay for them now. So I don't know what happens.
What they cost? I know for us, it's less than $100.
Yeah, I think it's $50.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's like $50. Yeah,
I think it's $50.
Yep.
Again, it's at this point, I don't even look anymore. It's like an automatic approval. I'm like,
sure.
Why are you bothering? I think it's $50. It actually may have started at 50 and it may have jumped to 100 this year.
Okay.
But still, for a full detailed report of the inside of my house that again, remember what I do. I use it to evaluate the PM. Believe me, those conversations, I remember one report I got back. I was like, if this is how you're handling all my cash houses, I'm going to go somewhere else. Oh, no. I'm like, oh yeah, you better believe we're going to do those things. So
no, it's really important.
I'm a huge fan of the double check. And again, I've had 5 horrible stories. 3 of them are cash tenants, 2 are Section 8. It does happen. People get addicted to bad things, and stuff happens. But to know that I've supplied now hundreds of homes to housing. And again, if people watch my channel, I put up videos of my remodels. I call them pride of ownership rentals.
That's right.
They're nice stuff. So I'm happy that I can provide that for people.
So it warms the cockles of my heart to know that we're doing it a lot like you do it, which is we're talking to housing authority, we're talking to the inspector. We're using exactly the same product that we use in all of our other houses. We're not differing anything. It's still the same, high-end vinyl planks, still the same low E argon gas, Energy Star Plus windows. It's still the Marblehead casing, and it's still the insulated doors, and it's still solid core doors.
Yes.
We're doing all of that stuff to make it, like you said, pride of ownership, a nice rental. And quite frankly, just being completely transparent, I hope that we stick with the program for quite some time in the future, and we do nothing but continue to grow our portfolio. However, if for some reason we don't, then it's exactly like the rest of my properties. Yeah. There's no reason it should be discounted.
Oh, I totally agree. So there's 3 more things that I just want to put out there why Section 8 is great. First and foremost, in many markets, Section 8, some people always argue, is Section 8 the floor or the ceiling? Right. And I've been doing this 20 years. There was a time where Section 8 was the floor, meaning cash tenants would just pay more for that configuration. Sure. Section 8 has seen a pretty healthy increase recently, and likely will get more funding. I think they're looking for another $5.4 billion. Yep. So in many markets, And actually some parts of the market I'm in, not all of them, but some, they're the ceiling.
Interesting.
Right. So they're
the floor here right
yeah.
now. Right now they're the floor.
Yeah. And then the other thing I want to talk about is turnover in a Section 8 house. It's not apartments. Apartments are a different story, but Section 8 housing, if you ever looked at my portfolio and you saw a tenant there more than 10 years, there's a 90% chance it's a Section 8 house.
Love that.
Yeah, they just stay forever. They don't want to move. They don't want to change schools.
Sure.
Most Section 8 housing has at least one, if not multiple children. Once they get in, they don't move. And the other thing, realize that we just went through a pandemic where we were very nervous about cash tenants. I was never nervous about Section 8.
What do you do? So, a landlord in my position, we look at it and we say, okay, we want to give them some stability. We want some stability as well. Multi-year leases. Do you do anything with a multi-year lease where you just have like, it hits the prevailing rate of Section 8 pricing, within 60 days of new pricing being released?
Yeah, I have, I don't treat anything different in my remodels or my leases. So everybody gets a yearly lease and goes month to month after that. I don't want to add complexity to my life, or I don't want to have people point at inequalities. I want to remove all of that. So no, I have not done anything like that.
More, it was trying to give them something special because, so I went on my very first showing this morning for a voucher tenant. Nice. They're in a 3-bedroom. They need to get into a 4-bedroom because she's going to be with child soon, with another child soon enough. Yep. And so they wanted to do that escalation. I actually bought this building with her in it.
Oh, cool.
I bought another building that's only 4 blocks away from her. So her kids get to stay in the same school system.
That's awesome.
They get all of the wins that they want to win. But what I found out is that she actually has a 4-bedroom voucher instead of a 3-bedroom voucher. And this gives her the opportunity to scale up, and it gives somebody else the opportunity to scale up from a 2 to a 3. And so what's really interesting is that in the acquisition of these 2 properties, one was vacant, one was a vacant duplex, one was a duplex that had only 1 tenant in it, the other unit was empty. What's amazing about this is I believe I'm going to turn that 1 voucher program tenant, I believe I'm going to turn into 4 tenants, because she has friends on the voucher program that are looking for a 2-bedroom, which is what the first floor of that other one is. And then the housing authority, because they put me in contact with her or with another person saying she's looking for a 3. So I think that we're going to be able to fill all 4 units, all with housing authority voucher programs, and housing authority is thrilled because there's no supply, and all the tenants are getting something filled.
I was going to tell you something that's not many people realize. Voucher programs have an end date. They expire.
Yeah.
And at least in most markets I have heard of, the list of people that have been approved far outlists the supply available.
It is.
And if they're going to throw another $5.4 billion, that's only going to get worse, because again, it's the whole supply demand equation. They're increasing demand in a scarce environment. So if you're out there and you're looking at it, I am a huge fan. I realize there are some unbiased opinions, which I think are unfair. My experience does not validate those concerns, but everybody teach your own. I am a huge fan.
Yeah, I think I think it still comes down, which I also love the process, Mike, that they were also very transparent about. And I think it's, they talked about the fact that they do a criminal background check when they first get on the program.
Nice.
And then they still allow for you to do whatever checks and balances you have as a landlord. Just because they see it, just because they want it, doesn't mean they get it. They still have to fit your rent box,
your buy box.
Yeah.
Or rent box,
I love that, because again, these are all things that, talking to some people that have done it before, quite frankly, if you're a lousy landlord, Section 8 or voucher program just amplifies that.
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up, because I have a rent box. Again, I don't look at where the rent comes from. It's not important to me. It could be Section 8, it could be other charities, or it could be cash. Where it comes from, I don't care. Right. Yep. It's not in my box. When I have other criteria. Yeah. And I would say, I don't know I've never looked at this, but I'm sure I declined 30% of the applicants that are Section 8, but it's not because of Section 8. It's because they didn't hit my box.
Yeah.
Again, I would do 100% of my portfolio Section 8. If that's how it worked out, I'd have no problem.
That's awesome. Yeah. And again, guys, this is the type of, even for me, an investor, 20 some odd buildings, 70 something units, I still am always looking for data, always looking to talk to other people, expand the network, have those conversations. It's only going to make you better. If you decide that it's not for you, fine. But largely speaking, the more data input that you have, the more opportunity that you have to capture a hold of something, do something different, save you money, make you money, twist and turn a knob, up and down with a lever, any of these things that are of great value. So Mike, as always, hugely valuable. Any other thoughts on the matter?
No, I'm just really happy that you're doing this.
I'm excited to do it. And like I said, quite frankly, for us, we tried to do it as individuals for years. And we kept on, they are the only and they were not voucher program, but they were only people that took advantage of the system. And those are the only 9 evictions I have are people that took advantage of the system. And that's out of over 2,000 tenant years. We have 9 evictions. So our rate is super low. We love working with people. We just recognize it's a house. It's a home for them to stay for their family. So I'm thrilled at the opportunity to be able to do it and just looking forward to making sure to catalog the process as we go through it, because so far so good. It's been understandable and they've been very transparent, but we'll just be transparent going through our process, make sure it's valuable to other folks. So Mike, where can everybody find you, my friend?
Go to your Google search bar and type in One Rental at a Time. You should see a book, an Instagram, a YouTube channel, all that stuff.
And you guys should absolutely be subscribing to One Rental at a Time. I mean, there's tons of content on there and good content at that. Not like some of the like the amount of content that I watch is somewhat shameful. And sadly, about 70% of it is total crap. And you're just like, oh, this guy is
it's pretty bad.
This guy's giving investment advice and he owns 0 stock and he owns 0 homes. Let me just line right up to listen to you. Give me a break. Because you can read me an article that I can't read for myself. I graduated the 9th grade, not the 5th. Okay. So like I can still read articles for myself, everybody, and understand the words. So that's Mike, awesome. Thanks so much. Have a great long holiday weekend. And guys, Lumberjack Landlord here, subscribe, have some fun with us. Lumberjacklandlord.com, Lumberjack Landlord on YouTube. Have a blast with us. And Mike, have an awesome, are you still doing a Saturday group?
Of course. Yep.
Awesome. Well, I will see you there. Everyone have a great holiday weekend. And remember what this weekend is about. There are many men and women that fought for us and fought for our freedoms, and respect that, respect them. And I always think of Edrin. I've literally had some say, it's no problem. I was like, dude, it's a problem. And I'm grateful. So we thank everyone out there for all that they did to make sure that that America was in fact a free country as it is today. So Mike, thanks so much. Everyone have a great weekend and don't forget to subscribe. Take care, everyone.